Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You of course can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Welcome, it's Sunday the 31st of October 2021, which means it's Doctor Who Day. It's Doctor Who Flux Day. Doctor Who premieres. It's always very exciting, isn't it, to have a brand new season of Doctor Who. Later on today, I may actually watch every season premiere of the revival, but I may start off with Doctor Who the movie, because it's all modern, isn't it? So yes, I'm very intrigued and excited, but hopefully when I do tomorrow's video, I can review the first episode, which is the Halloween Apocalypse. Problem out here is I can't watch the BBC out here in Cyprus, so I won't be watching it live because I can't. I would if I could, but I can't. And so I have to buy it on Amazon Video. I haven't been able to pre-order it yet, so I'll keep on having a look, and hopefully I can watch Doctor Who Flux tomorrow morning when it comes on. So there's lots of takes about the Chris Chibnall era, isn't it? And it's one of those situations that can become very toxic very, very quickly. And there's the type of people who support Jodie's era of Doctor Who on the internet who have bullied people who don't like Jodie's era. I mean, I saw something on Twitter the other day where someone was being picked on because he said he wasn't going to watch it, then he did. And of course, they labelled him as a straight white male. This is the problem, isn't it? It becomes very, very toxic. As I've said on this channel before, you know, you can either like something. Look, there's many Doctor Who eras, right? It's been around since 1963. There's many that I don't like. Some I haven't bothered watching. Some I've, constructively criticised them. I haven't really ever said, I don't think I've ever said I'm not going to watch this, right? I think if Jodie and Chris weren't leaving, I might have skipped the following season. I may have even skipped this season. Not because I'm offended by it, just because it bores me. But then again, I suppose this is kind of hypocritical of me. I'm thinking about the Timeless Child thing, and I do want to know how it works out. I do find the thing so utterly intriguing. So welcome to Doctor Who Flux and the Halloween Apocalypse preview. Now, this is a strange preview because we know jack shit about Doctor Who Flux or the Halloween Apocalypse. We really don't know much about it. Now, we know in terms of Doctor Who Flux that the Sontarans will be involved, that the Weeping Angels will be involved. We don't know if these are cameos or not. I think the Sontarans will be having a lot of screen time. I'm not sure about the Weeping Angels, to be honest. I'm not really a big Weeping Angels fan. I think they're a fabulous concept that you should see once and then say, oh, do you remember the Weeping Angels? This is my problem with the Weeping Angels. They're just statues. Now, I know a lot of that means you use your imagination, and it's a great concept, don't get me wrong, but it isn't a walking, talking threat. And once you've done it once or twice, it really doesn't work. And when I heard they were bringing them into class, not the Chris Chibnall, but the Stephen Moffat era Doctor Who spin-off, I thought they, and I mean, they never got a season 2, and I'm not surprised. But I just don't think the Weeping Angels are something you can use again and again. They're not the Ood. The Ood are really interesting. They're like a slave race, and there's lots of commentary to slavery there. And I think it's very interesting, but the way Russell does it, he doesn't lecture you about it. He does it from those characters' point of view. And I think they're a very interesting character, the Ood, and they look remarkable as well. So I like the Ood, and you can use them again and again and again. In fact, the Ood are going to be in Doctor Who Flux apparently as well. So I'm excited to see them again. But then, I mean, it's really weird, isn't it? Because you've got, the best creature Moffat ever created wasn't the Weeping Angels for me. It was the Silence. Fucking freak out the shit out of me. People keep on asking me, when was the last time you hid behind your sofa while watching Doctor Who? Well, it's when I first saw the Silence. They are fucking amazing creatures. They look amazing. And the concept of them is amazing. Stephen Moffat actually created an amazing creature there. In fact, he created many creatures and monsters in his time as Doctor Who's showrunner. And I'm not saying I don't like the Weeping Angels. I'm just saying they're a one and done for me. That's just my opinion, of course. It's not a fact. It's my fact, not your fact. So if you like them, and if you want to see them in every episode of Doctor Who till the end of time, that's cool. We're friends, right? But that's my point. They just don't interest me. So, but I'm excited that they're coming back because I know people are excited because they're coming back. So what is Doctor Who Flux? And I'm not really talking about the actual continuing serialised episodic structure of it. I think we pretty much know what Doctor Who Flux is. There's a kind of a universal threat that it is imperative that the Doctor acts against it. But I think the Doctor's actually going to be on the run as well. So this is going to be very, very interesting. I think they are going to deal with the Timeless Child situation and arc. And I think it might be more prevalent than we actually thought. And I think this is the whole thing that it really is. And that's the interest for me. I think the Doctor Who Flux element, and we look at the word flux because that's the only way we can kind of think. Now we know there's an amalgamation of aliens, right? After the Doctor, you know, after the universe and after the planet Earth and humanity. Now we don't know why. It could be just like a kind of a gangster organisation, a bunch of aliens that have got together to, you know, to do their evil bidding. It could be that. And so it's very, very interesting what's going on with it. But let's look at the word flux. Flux means that things are it's in flux. That kind of means that things are not at the balance. They're not in balance as they should be. I think that's what the word means. I should just check it out on my phone, but I'm not going to. Someone do it for me and let me know in the comments. But that's what I think. Things are in flux. You know, they're not working properly. Or maybe they're working properly. I don't know. But flux always... And yeah, let's get a... I'm going to be that guy. In Back to the Future, it's the flex capacitor. It's not the flux capacitor. But he, you know, Chibnall may be being inspired by the flex capacitor element of that word. And maybe he said, oh yeah, flux. Doctor Who Flux. So everything's in flux. And I think this is interesting, the word flux, because a lot of us have been talking about a multiverse strategy coming to Doctor Who. And maybe this is what the word flux means. Maybe these creatures are coming from the multiverse, from different versions of the universe in the multiverse. And maybe that's something that could be happening here. Yes, I think that could be a thing. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. But there's another question we have to ask. What else has come from the multiverse? Is Jodie's Doctor a multiversal Doctor? Is she really a genuine regeneration from Peter Capaldi's Doctor? I had another theory. I had the same theory with Capaldi's Doctor, that actually he wasn't the real Doctor. But I suppose I always do that when I don't accept the Doctor at the very start, because I never accept the new Doctor. So I'm trying to think of reasons, storytelling reasons why they're not that Doctor. So, you know, maybe, just maybe, I'm just talking bullshit. I am talking bullshit, but, you know, let's leave it there. Maybe she's a multi-universal Doctor. Now, Chibnall has told us that what's her name? I forgot now. Dr. Joe. I forgot her bloody name. Joe, what's her name? Joe. Anyway, the Joe Doctor, right? Let's call her the Joe Doctor. The one who was in that one episode last year, and she was revealed as the Doctor. And Chris told us that, you know, she wasn't a multiversal Doctor. She's not from another universe. She's actually a proper version of the Doctor. What? Now, this is interesting, isn't it? What if she's the real Doctor, that she regenerated from Capaldi and Jodie's Doctor is a multiversal Doctor? What if there's that? That could be a thing, right? Now, the Timeless Child thing has to continue. He set it up now. Even if you don't like it, he has to deal with it. And of course, we've discussed many times on this channel, if she is in fact the Timeless Child, listen, I don't know. I still think he's going to find a way so she's not. I mean, but he's also the kind of creative who would say, right, she's the Timeless Child, deal with it. Deal with it, future incoming showrunners. I think that would have been okay, right? And I know people are going to be angry, but I think that would have been okay if Chibnall was going to remain showrunner. He could keep it as a thing and then get rid of it. I don't know a storyteller or producer or a former showrunner of Doctor Who who's going to say, all right, it's fine, Chris, we love that arc, we'll deal with it. And maybe RTD wants to deal with it. he's going to have to deal with this within this serialization. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, because this is interesting. What's going to happen in the 3 episodes, the trilogy, next year? It's Jodie's final 3 episodes. So that's interesting as well. What happens there? Will they continue the Timeless Child arc? I don't know about that. I can't be certain. Normally I'm quite certain with these things. I know how it works, being from the industry myself. But I'm not sure what they do here. The easy thing to do for Chris would be to finish off this Timeless Child thing in Doctor Who Flux. Because if you finish it off in Doctor Who Flux, it's clean. For example, if they find a way to say, well, actually, the Doctor wasn't the Timeless Child and somebody else is. AKA, maybe Mandip Gill's character. I don't know. Yasmin Khan. How can that be possible? I don't know. But anything's possible in Doctor Who. How can Clara Oswald, right, be someone who, you know, went into the Doctor's timeline and experienced every part of him? And she split in and, you know, so he experienced different versions of her. It's all ludicrous. Doctor Who is ludicrous. So anything's possible. So she could, in fact, be a version of the Timeless Child. Couldn't she? She could have conveniently, you know, regenerated into Yasmin Khan. But how does she become their child? Maybe Yaz was adopted by that couple. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know if any... Because we don't really know much about Yaz and her family anyway. So it's interesting. We've seen that family, but we haven't spent... It was not like we didn't know her as well as we knew Jackie Tyler. So, and really that's really the only parent of a companion since the revival that we actually know that well. Now, Donna's family we got to know a little bit, but I still think Jackie and the Tylers were the ones we spent more time with, mainly because Russell wanted to do that. So it's interesting. And I think Yaz being the Timeless Child is a thing. I think that could be a thing. I can't explain to you how. Of course, the obvious way is to say that the Master is in fact the Timeless Child. Why is that a problem? The problem is because it still kind of changes who the Master is. But it's not as damaging as doing it to the Doctor. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't mind the Doctor being the Timeless Child. I don't even mind that it takes Hartnell away from canon. I understand why a lot of you are angry about it. As I say, everyone's entitled to their views. It doesn't trigger me. The only thing I find poisonous is the political commentary he's making about it. But even that, I can live with it because I can ignore all that. Ultimately, it's an interesting take, and I would love to slowly find out the Doctor's origins. But then, some Doctor Who fans have never wanted to do it. I think it is somewhat problematic when you try and kind of, you know, dive into the Doctor's origins, because most Doctor Who fans, I think the hardcore Doctor Who fans, the older Doctor Who fans, I'd say, it's something they've always been resistant against. And I understand now that the show's called Doctor Who for the reason that the, you know, not the guy, but the character is a fucking mystery. That's the whole point. Even his fans, even us, the audience, don't know or want to know more about him. It's good that there's a little bit of that character that's a mystery. So once you start delving into them, and there's a couple of aliens, a male and a female, that someone said may be the Doctor's alien parents, and we could really take a deep dive, which would really make a lot of people angry. But whatever the case, it's going to have to be cleaned up. You know, what do you do if the Timeless Child remains a thing? If the Doctor actually is revealed as the Timeless Child officially, with no doubts? I don't think that's the case. The only way you could really get away with it with the Master, and I suppose it doesn't really matter with the Master, because we've had many versions of the Master and we don't know who... Do we actually know who the first version of the Master is? I know Roger Delgado was the first version, am I right? But were there versions before Roger? I think there was off screen, I'm sure of it. Anyway, I don't know. Someone again, comment down below to educate me more about Doctor Who, because I love Doctor Who, but I don't know everything. And that's okay, that doesn't make me a non-fan, alright? And so there could be another way out of this, of course, that this Master is in fact a multi-universal Doctor. So he's from the multiverse, because I still believe John Sim is the Universe 1 Master, because we didn't see him die. And if you don't see someone die on screen, please, boys and girls and everyone out there, please believe me, they're not dead. If you don't see someone dead on the telly, they're not dead. Bobby Ewing died on the telly and he still came back alive because it was all a fucking dream. I could talk about that for hours and you know, why and how they shouldn't have done that. Big Dallas fan as well. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Dallas, are we? Maybe I should do a Dallas daily. I wonder if anyone would bother watching it. Anyway, and so I think I'm obsessed with the multiverse, of course, being a comic fan and all of that. But you know, I think the rumours, even the Doctor Who magazine have been talking about it a little bit. And a lot of, you know, people who work with Big Finish have been talking about it. So, what else does the multiverse do? Changing the subject to Doctor Who Flux. Well, what the multiverse can do is, as well, is say that Big Finish is part of that multiverse. You could literally start bringing actors from Big Finish to be in the live action show. You know, the potential is so vast, and I think this is why they're going to do it. And I would love Big Finish to be a thing in live action. I think Big Finish fans would say, no, just leave it to the audio. So, of course, as usual with Doctor Who fandom, there's going to be an argument and an unhappiness about something. So, finishing off, in closing this preview of Doctor Who Flux, the Halloween Apocalypse, what do I think we're going to see? Well, in closing, I think we're going to see a very interesting series with a very exciting, vast story. And I hope the characters are more interesting and more interestingly written than Season 11 and Season 12. But Season 12 was a better season than Season 11. So I think Flux, as I say, means that everything's in flux, everything's a bit of a mess. And that could be a clue towards the multiverse being kind of introduced to Doctor Who, which will be a lot of fun. But I think the real thing here that they're going to deal with is, of course, the Timeless Child. But the big question now is, do they finish this arc off in Doctor Who Flux, or do they drag it out for the final 3 episodes of Jodie's and Chris Chibnall's era? We're just going to have to wait and see. This has been the Doctor Who Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, comment, share, please subscribe. Really important if you like me and you like what I do here. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I will see you tomorrow with even more Doctor Who Daily. And hopefully if I get to watch it, because living in Cyprus it's difficult, as I've already said, hopefully I can review and react to the Halloween Apocalypse from Doctor Who. What's the name? I forgot the bloody name. Doctor Who Flux. So hopefully I can review and react to episode 1 of Doctor Who Flux tomorrow. So until then, goodbye and enjoy the episode tonight if you can. Please. See you later.